We've had to be a little bit experimental with this simply because we are bad at swimming. Okay, hitting those simultaneously, I hope it actually still works. I'm not sure if it will. So it will? Okay, we'll switch back to stick. Oh, turning that corner is difficult. Okay. And in fact, stick is not too comfortable with that because turning that corner makes me slip my thumb right off there. So we'll just stick with D-pad. I mean, the thing about having originally played Mario games when the 2D games were current is that, like, depending on what age or generation you came in with video games, you may or may not kind of understand this, but there is such a thing as, like, sort of being too old to be good at handling analog sticks. Like, I've never been good with sticks. Okay. Just skip Boom Boom. We probably could have made it there, but the thing is, as I was saying, like, what you're not seeing on stream is that my thumb was literally slipping off the analog stick, and so, like, I was off-center going towards that muncher, and I didn't have a way to adjust except by letting up. And so I think that's a mistake, and we will just stick to D-pad. We got to be a bit faster about the block activation. Wonder if it is necessary to activate those two in order. I, again, just don't see what the triggering mechanism is. I mean, I know that, you know, you kind of need all the space you're using here, especially with the bottom of that section elevated like that. And I generally do believe in, you know, hiding tech that looks a bit messy, but for the purposes of this level, I almost wonder if it's better just to see what it is you're activating. I know it's trampolines up top because we see it in the intro screen. And that, yeah, I think all of those, they raise the trampolines upwards, and so that's what allows them to carry forward whatever object is up there. But as a multi-part mechanism that is timing dependent, I do wish I could see it, like, with just an additional tile or two of height on a camera, but like, I totally understand the principle behind why you would want to make them hidden, and, you know, I do generally like the use of scrolling tech to hide a bit of tech from time to time just to keep the whole look of it clean and to keep the focus on the platforming challenge itself. But it does make that segment a little bit opaque in terms of knowing whether or not I got the hit down before the blaster releases. Basically, you know, I'm always kind of kept in suspense as to whether it worked or not until I'm at this point. And it didn't work, and I have no idea why, right? So, trampoline raised upward lets Muncher go up. Muncher destroys bomb, which destroys blocks. Okay, so basically the principle with all of those is as fast as possible. Gotta go as fast as possible with all of the blocks. So it's not timing dependent in terms of sending an object, right? Here we go. Okay. Okay, so Boom Boom just misses me entirely, which is nice. And then we will not die to this little damage boost here, I hope. And yeah. Thank you. Yeah, after doing the second segment, really it was only activating the blocks. Like, everything else felt like it was pretty forgiving, so I can see why the clear rate was higher than I suspected from the early portion. So thank you for that submission. That is a win. Not that the win-loss logging really matters at this point, because I actually don't block duplicate codes anymore, because that was just causing too much trouble with maker codes, especially now that people are submitting worlds. So Jaylon, you are still here. think Jaylon might have ducked out, so we'll bump them back one spot, I think, depending on whether there are more offliners past that. Just give me a moment while I do a bit of queue management on the back end. Pat Plays Pickles, have you also departed us? Or are you here? If neither of those are here, Ogner will be next. Okay, I think I'll just remove both of them and get to Ogner directly. And we will pull up that code. It's an M08QD5 FYG. Okay, so this will be Bowser Jr.'s Spooky Swamp Cruise. Nothing like a peaceful nighttime cruise through a delightful swamp. So, fairly generous, what about 12%? I'm looking forward to something that might be more of a traditional experience. Yeah, nice to have a good mix of difficulties and styles. Always nice when you can break up the pacing of the stream a little bit that way. Take some fast, take some slow. So this is going to be a cruise level. It's going to be proximity activated to start. We'll have a little safely defended cutscene here with Magic Koopa. Okay, it looks like this is going to be... Oh, I see. I wonder if this is timing dependent. No, it's just based on looping around and activating the thwomp. I guess I probably should have bumped those fire flowers up or something. Now, that's just going to be waiting for Bowser Jr. being spooky. And afterwards, we will hopefully be able to just send a shell through. Which... Oh, no. That's wrong. I need to get in there, in fact, because by proximity, the claw will drop the 1-up mushroom. The 1-up mushroom will operate the next mechanism. So we do see what's going on there. We're just totally tanking the clear rate on this for no good reason. So Kamek is going to warn us of the dangers that lie ahead. There is nothing under these fire flowers except ground to launch anything, so I think that's just decoration as before. We can have a thwomp activated cruise. And let's save that, actually. Given that this is a navigational challenge, not a shell carrying challenge. Although I do wonder if we do a shell grab there, whether that will break anything later on, or if that's something that's been very diligently tested. So let's do all the dodging here, and get towards the 1-up, and see what that activates. So we're going to hold on to the shell. I'm sure that's been tested, but... Okay. Looks like we just need to make our way over to this mechanism here. And then that'll be a safe drop. Okay, nice. Nice little portage. Having the Buzzy helmet here makes me feel much safer, which is, I think, as good a reason as any to have grabbed a spare. Okay, so... Oh, I see. And then we'll need to drop an object anyway, okay. And then... It seems like that coin might be important, but... Okay, checkpoint down there. I wonder if letting the P-switch expire actually mattered. No, this is going to be the P-switch gate over here. So. And we are not going to be able to grab those. So let's just operate this by proximity again. Lose the helmet to the booze. So this is the spooky part of the cruise. You joke that I need to die like 10 times to tank clear rate, but you would be amazed at what I do sometimes with levels that are presumably easier. Partly because I just like to play around and experiment and also take my time to, look at the mechanisms. Interesting on-off switch here with the fuzzy helmet. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so Bowser Jr. is going to be spooky. We see an off switch on top of that muncher, and we see that we need to turn Kamek here to the right to get that clown car to fire properly. Now, is he going to do some kind of charge shot? No, we actually need to kill him, and then we'll do the charge shot on his behalf, just to show him how it's done. And let's blast the whole way through. Presumably some kind of POW block will release our access to the muncher. For the sake of the on-off switch. Oh, too bad about clipping into the booze there. And of course that muncher here kind of... Oh, yeah, I guess it's acting as a weight to pin down the seesaw, so... I guess the on-off block at the back is an extra kind of anti-locking control. And we need more fire, don't we, to take out these... Oh, no, these are not the coin ice blocks, these are the hard ice blocks. We need some kind of... we need to just jump under this thing. What am I talking about? Okay. And then we have respawned here. A spring block. Okay. And then it looks like Kamek's ghost, represented by the boo there, has come to haunt us. So we'll double back around this. Yeah, interesting kind of state change. I think I see how that works. Based on a spawn block. I see. Okay, whoa. We needed to drop, and we did not. Okay, you can jump to it. Alright, sorry, I lost the context for which part you were referring to there, so we'll just take a look once again. Okay, so here's Junior. Here's a segment here. Yeah, actually, no, I see that's just a totally different room that's made to look similar. And you can tell because of the placement of the dotted line blocks. But it's meant to create the illusion of doubling back through all of this. I do see that very clearly now. And in fact, I should have known that given the ice blocks there that are replaced by donut blocks. Yeah, there we go. And of course, just a door placement in general. Like, if I were paying attention, I would know how this is laid out, but it's a nice little visual trick in terms of making the room very readily recognizable. Okay, we'll drop in. Let's not let the winged boo chase us all over the place. I actually do quite like the boo layouts here. Kind of keep you on your toes in terms of keeping their positioning under control. So we're going to fire off some fireworks. And look at these boos here, kind of desperately grabbing for fuzzy helmets that used to reside in that location and keep them warm at night. We have not hit the lower checkpoint yet. Okay, so we are back to this delivery mechanism. We're going to grab that one up just to do it. And here is another kind of timer log. Oh. Let's wait for that. Come on. Power up. There we go. Looks like there's a star in that claw on the right. I don't know what that's all about. Okay. Oh, whoops. I guess I should have just done a spin jump there, but I think getting the initial hit with the shell saved us a bit of time. So for those of you who plan to grab a speed record on this, keep the shell. That's very clearly what you should be doing. No, we're not going to nuke him with the moon. We're going to nuke him with the gate. So, oh yeah, I like nice long levels like that. But you know, you can see that it's not only quite gentle, but that it's, you know, very good about signaling everything, and that I think some of the length is because there is a bit of a stop and go rhythm to it as you head down the course on the boat. So thank you for that submission. Certainly welcome to send me more. I should put a like on this. Sorry, I sometimes forget, even if I do say I like a course, and I don't always notice if I forget. Yeah, I enjoy long levels. Particularly sort of longer ones that are on a relaxing side. I mean, I think that sometimes, you know, people who build levels that are very thematic like that, or have a more traditional form of interaction, sometimes they go a little bit too short. Partly because I think a lot of the original Mario levels, particularly Mario 3, like they were really, really short. So Matty YT, if you're still here, you may want to speak up. Otherwise, we will bump you back a spot. Let me just check the list once again. So I think we will just remove for now. He's always welcome to resubmit if he comes back. Didn't know I was doing that badly on the swimming level earlier. Beware, 001. Twitch does not seem to believe you are here. You should correct me if that is wrong. Let's give him a minute to speak up. Okay, I'll bump Beware back as well. And we'll get through this quite efficiently. And Derek, I do know you are here, so thank you for sticking around. Look at yours. F8C2JK. QuickTime Fiasco. And we'll give you a bit of a search, and we will look at perforating projectile riding. So, only one clear on this out of 2 players so far. Looks very new, having come up earlier today. Yeehaw, wrangle up them their bullets and ride them to victory. So it looks like SMB2 and bullet riding. Yeah, I mean, I totally understand that if you're just kind of submitting to multiple queues and staying tuned to see whichever one plays you first, like I can see why people do that. And, you know, as somebody who has submitted to streams before, I mean, I don't do that myself, but I do understand. Okay, so we'll grab the bullet here. I see, okay. And then I didn't actually take a look at where the exit point should be up front, so let's maybe do that again. Although it does let us come up here now, so... Oh, whoops. I should pay a little more attention to where the height we actually intend to get on the right side will be. I just didn't look at that properly the first time, but it's clearly a matter of looping back here with the on-off switch. And of course, no, it can't just be grabbing a bullet up top to begin with, because then you would just be able to do that in the first place. Okay, so hitting the on-off... No, hitting the on-off just opens up the wall, so we could have just ridden that directly. Yeah, I see. Wasn't looking at how the wall was structured. So now that is very clear to me. So we will... I feel like I picked that up too high. Yeah, I need to throw it low, maybe, and get a nice drop on it that allows us to spawn the lower bullet and ride the lower one back. Let's actually grab the mushroom. That will be very necessary for our purposes. Thank you for respawning the mushroom. Actually, yeah, not much of an opportunity to lower ourselves. We just need to ride it out. Ride it out and pay attention to the spawning. Yeah, that works as intended. And then we'll actually carry this. We'll carry this through. We don't know when we might need it. Oh, bad idea there. Okay. I mean, carrying it was a good idea. Jumping like that was not a good idea. Okay. No, I forgot to grab the mushroom. Huh. Yeah, too high. I might have pulled the camera up by jumping. It's quite possible. Yeah, simply because the whole on-off column does build into the top half vertically. Kind of get that effect where jumping will pull you up. Yeah, maybe throwing a second bullet ahead actually is not a bad idea if I want to give myself a second platform, unless it turns out that that grab is necessary. And I actually don't think it will be. I think we've got the right idea. But and indeed, we should be making some use of the boost jump, although I think it doesn't really give you that much horizontal distance, so it may not be that useful for the saw blades. Gives us a fair bit of vertical clearance, though. Yeah, it's not going to give us enough distance to do it twice. And I see actually the arrow indicators there tell you that you want to do the boost jump for the third jump, for the third set of saw blades. Like, that's actually telling you to do precisely that. So we'll just prepare ourselves for that. No, that was a late pickup. Yeah, I mean, if taking the bullet is optional, I certainly think that we should use that as an emergency platform if we need to. Going to solve a number of things. It might also just shortcut something later if we need a bullet throw, but you know, I'm glad the level is able to accommodate either approach. Let's actually toss it. Have a little bit of safety. Should have gone on the left there. I see, and there's a checkpoint up ahead anyway. So we should, in fact, use both bullets. Not necessary, but it helps. And I like having the option. Yeah, I picked up on the super jump indicator partly because I have done levels with that already. I think with all the new elements, quite a lot of things that are hard for people now will become easier with familiarity. And I remember kind of going through that initial learning process with Link in the last patch, and so that's something that is familiar to me by now. Whoops. Still going a little bit early on that, I think. Partly because I was aiming for the bullet up front, and I guess it wouldn't give me enough distance for that, so maybe misleading myself from throwing the bullet so close. Okay. Oh, forgot. Yeah. Oh, I see. So it's just designed to permit you to jump down to begin with. You know, you don't even need to do that pickup at all. That's something that should have been obvious. I guess, too, that I've seen... I mean, I haven't seen that many SMB2 levels, but the bullet pickup seemed to be one of the most popular mechanics right away just because of how flexible it was. And so... picking up an object and dropping onto a bullet is an interaction that I've basically come to expect. It's not required here, so that's fine, but... Nope, not enough clearance. I need to be a little bit more ambitious with that jump. Yeah, always good to test your level like that, I think, like doing it with the way that will be hardest for the players in terms of not taking the bullet. Like, you have to tune it, I think, around the expectation that players will not necessarily try out things that are more advanced. So I think that's certainly the right decision from you there. Okay. Okay, we were actually a little bit over that time. But having both of them there for safety, I think, does help quite a bit. Two bills, you can just do a damage boost through the saws. I'm not sure about that. Well, I'll have to look at that again, because damage boost generally seems unwise here simply because... Oh yeah, no, I guess you could bounce as regular Mario. Like that, but that was accidental, by the way. That was not an intentional demonstration of what we were talking about, but... Like, I'll try to do it keeping SMB2. Obviously, you know, post-checkpoint you would expect there to be a respawn of the mushrooms anyway in order to make the rest of the level work. Okay, so let's try this once again. And there we go. Okay, so we'll just need to ride these up. All three of them. And obviously you kind of need to read the ceiling a little bit in advance, I think, just simply because of how high the cannonballs go. So I do really appreciate that this segment gives you a retry. Because it's very easy in this segment to just lose to visibility. And so having a safety net, like this is exactly the kind of obstacle where you should have a safety net. So, I mean, it is right after the checkpoint, so it would really just be a small delay between retries, but definitely feel like I need to anticipate the ceiling a bit, and I wonder if like some coin trails might have helped mitigate that issue. Like if you just had some coins going horizontally, then you could at least anticipate those camera issues. Because when you're seeing it blindly, it's definitely difficult to see where the safe zone will be next. It does feel like I have to guess my way through this. Or maybe I'm just making jumps that are too high, like short jumps might help here, but... Okay, let's try to fall safely, quickly enough. Okay, no. Yeah, it is still a nice safety net. Also, my first reminder that the cannons, I mean, the cannons will normally spawn under Mario's feet, but you normally don't think about them simply because he just bops them right away, right? And so the fact that, you know, they fire under his feet regardless and send him up right away in SMB2 is something that's quite useful to make use of here, but yeah. But we'll just do this until it happens. And right. And then left. Shorter jumps seem to be the thing to do here. Oops. Okay, so we're gonna plug that switch and then it should take us back down, but here's the issue, is that we lost the mushroom, so I don't think we have enough room to fall safely. That's okay. This means we need to keep the mushroom. It's not too big a deal. I do like that it's a bit of a two-way challenge. I mean, the layout seems pretty decent for that to happen. Yeah, I did notice earlier on that it was an on-off controlled gate to get to right. Now we could expect some kind of wraparound like this. Okay. Fall. Fall safely, fall safely. There we go. Okay, short jumps there. Bit of an adjustment there. And we gotta watch out for the cannonballs coming up top. Now that's just a reset, right? Like, there's no particular reason we need to take that reset door. Okay. In case the cannons are not aligned, okay, yeah. Oh, because, I guess... Well, I'll pay attention to how they're scrolling in with the camera, but... if that's kind of a debug hack for some kind of loading issue with them dropping in or firing wrong. Yeah, because I guess their initial firing pattern would set the remainder of their firing pattern. So you would need to plug that with a reset. Okay, so let's do some short jumps over here again. And, oh, no. Whoops. Oh, no, let's grab the mushroom properly. Okay. Watch our heads. Well, we'll see about going back down. Like, going back down, the nice thing is that once you get low enough, you can take damage on the way down. It's just that you can't do it when you're too high up the level. Unless you have a very good memory for what the falling pattern would be, which I don't. Given that I have enough trouble remembering the pattern going up. But I think falling down is probably quite manageable given the amount of headroom you have here. And the fact that, like, the cannons would be between you and the saw blades on the way back down. Like, that's very important, I think, in terms of the cannon platforms kind of giving you a little bit of distance to react. Nope. So I actually do expect going down to be easier, I just haven't done it yet. Oh, I guess so if you hit the on-off switch that it plugs the mushroom and dispenser on the left, so you actually don't get refreshes on the mushrooms, so you can't just take damage on the way down. So okay, that's a good bit of cheese locking. Whoops. I do see how that works. Yeah, and I see that you just told me about that in chat. A little behind on reading the messages. So yeah, you thought of that. Okay. Let's just take a moment to relax here and read this properly. Yeah, falling into that one tile slot there looks like it's going to be a bit of an issue, but what if... So this is blocked, right, by on-off? Okay, so that's cheese-proof as well. Right, and you do need the SMB2 mushroom to ride this the rest of the way. Okay. Understood. I feel like I could have used like one additional tile to the left here, but I guess you took up the available real estate you could while leaving room on the other side for the goal, so... Well, it's a bit nervy to respawn at a checkpoint right on a cliff's edge, but that happens. Okay, so let's take the elevator up again. Yeah, the interaction itself is pretty easygoing. It's certainly not like a super precise level or anything. It's just mostly playing around the camera. Like the one thing that, you know, is a bit challenging is that one tile gap there. But then that's how the challenge sort of makes more and more demands of you, right? Because like first it gives you a wide gap, then it gives you a one tile gap that is against a wall and so it's easy to lean against. And then it gives you a one tile gap where you actually have to be precise. And so like the sequence is a pretty nice escalation of the concept. Yeah, just need to be precise here. Falling into that one tile gap, it looks like it's going to be a big stumbling block. Let's hit that switch. No. No. Not a lot of headroom there. Okay. Nope. Ogner, you were talking about how the enemies would stay loaded in vertical. I'm not actually sure they do. I think it's... I don't remember what the despawn distances are in vertical, but there definitely are despawns. I remember when the game launched that the top screen of the vertical subworld would actually remain globally loaded once it is loaded, but I believe that was patched out in one of the early patches where, unfortunately, they killed a whole bunch of loading tech, probably because of some back-end memory fixes. But I remember that early on in the life of MM2, that a bunch of vertical tech was based on just you know, building all your switch activation at the very top, loading it in, and just letting it do its job for the rest of the level. It's not how it works anymore, as far as I know. Nope, we should have actually jumped off that instead of trying to dash all the way. Jump into the middle one and then jump to the left. That's the strategy. Yeah, I absolutely loved the global icicles. It was very necessary to have kind of a one-tile solution to that wasn't on a tight budget, but maybe that caused some kind of memory loading issues that Nintendo wanted to mitigate. Which is too bad, though. It was one of the most useful things. Yeah. I played a lot with icicles early on and using icicle tech. So, something I appreciated while we had it. I found a really neat use of icicles, though, that has a very nice interaction with the Goomba hat. That's actually the basis of a new level I just uploaded earlier this week. But in terms of, yeah, the actual interactive tech, it is too bad that we don't have that kind of one-tile, high-budget form of Global Run. Yeah, I do love talking about that kind of maker tech stuff, by the way, so if you folks are into that, you have come to the right place. Much more of a tech talk stream in some ways. Like, you're not necessarily going to see the best Mario playing here, but, you know, in terms of picking apart how things work and learning mechanics, like, that's very much the main thing I try to provide for people here, so hopefully some of that is useful. Okay, let's do that one tile ball here. That was much too early a jump. So, yeah, we're essentially SD locked here. We fall in. We're getting there. We're getting there. Alright, let's go on and actually do want a nice spacious jump going into the ball into the one tile gap. Make use of the height here to do that adjustment. That was late. I just reacted late to that. Okay. We were almost done, though. We just had one part of that left to go. One last turnaround around a wall, so it's just a matter of accurately planning out our jump height. And yeah, it is very satisfying to pull off. Like, I feel like you really begin to appreciate the saw blade layout a lot more on the way down, because, you know, first of all, you're not really fighting with the camera so much, and secondly, the amount of headroom you get on the way down actually kind of clues you into where the jump should be. Like, you don't actually need any additional indication beyond that. Like, when you see how much height you can get, that tells you what the jump should be. And it's really nice to see that in action, if you know what I'm talking about. So, that should be safe. Let's not totally bungle it from here. And let's, one thing, watch our jump height. Had to do a little bit of a last-minute adjustment. on that, and then we'll see checkpoint 2. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, yeah, I see. So, you know, you just sort of plan to tell people that in chat when they do that to, you know, startle them or something. So we've got a 14-minute time on this, which is far from a record, but thank you for that submission. I was kind of half expecting an additional checkpoint there anyway, so I'm not particularly shocked, but I appreciate your comic timing in chat. So let's move on to the next submission. Lapsed Gaming. If you are still here, I believe Lapsed Gaming may have lapsed. Oh yeah, Beware, I do see you in chat. I think I actually removed you earlier because I ducked out for a bit, so you would want to resubmit if you are planning to stay. But Twitch's indicator for this kind of thing can be pretty laggy sometimes. So, best way to monitor it is just to call people as they come. And thank you for the additional submission, Derek. So let's account for Lapsed Gaming as lapsed. Let's see if Shafuges is still here. Might not be. Okay, so give him a minute to respond, but I think that will probably be a removal as well. Sneak in. Getting closer and closer to the way you pronounce it yourself. 4JC W23 LXF. I hope you're having a productive vacation from Mario Maker that you're spending on watching more Mario Maker. And Waltz for Venus. Team Jamp. Well, I don't know what Team Jamp has been getting up to, but we'll see whether the flow is something that's going to work as advertised in the cover image. So usually in that 1 to 2% pocket, that tends to work out for us. We'll give this a try. Maximum simplicity, okay. I see, so it's just height adjustment. Oh no, I see the next one is slightly off screen, so. Point Heaven music works very well for this, by the way. So was this a challenge where you were just reduced to a choice of 3 elements, or what was the basis of this? Because it definitely looks like a kind of Maker Challenge stage. I mean, I guess if the condition was maximum simplicity, then yeah. Ground Beetle Spike. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's definitely what it is. Yeah, it was. Go. Pardon me, I had to have a bit of a sneeze there. Totally threw me off. We are not down with the virus, for those wondering. They're quite hygienic. We, of course, spent quite a bit of the past week not only using a mask, but using the Goomba mask. And so everything is still shipshape. So, okay, let's refocus on this and get the timings down. The timings do seem to be fairly precise, and the jumps are kind of increasingly forced. Can't really afford to lose time to let the beetles go up. I think I really do just have to go platform to platform from what we can see. Yeah, and I guess that one coming in on the top there just kind of barely gives us enough room to work with. Although, yeah, certain jumps you kind of have to let them sink for a second. And that jump, I may in fact need to let it rise for a second, but not for too long. I'm also looking at this and sort of thinking about it in terms of how the beetles are being loaded in as I scroll to the right, and how much room for error that would give me. Particularly on the shorter jumps. Yeah, it looks like I do need to maybe delay slightly. Yep, that is definitely a slight delay spot. Need to let the lower beetle get under the one tile type ground decoration. The purple works out quite nicely this level, by the way. It does give it a fairly unique look. I think I've played enough with the sky theme in, where is this? No, this is a desert theme, isn't it? In SMB3 to really appreciate all the artwork, but yeah, I do see now that it's the desert theme, just elevated quite high in the sky. Yep, the skies of Venus. Oops, that was a total miss. Interesting 160-second timer. That seems like something that leaves you a bit of wiggle room, perhaps, but also seems like it's a very precisely chosen number, so. Didn't actually look at the clear times carefully going into this. Except that there was one that was fairly quick, so I doubt we'll actually be using 160. I mean, I suppose, you know, even if we're, say, a 60-second course, and you just set the timer to 160 to control the music. But it seemed like I saw a shorter clear time when I started this. Yeah, okay, so the issue there was I had not loaded in the one on the right. You could see that I delayed a little too much for that. $160. Now, I know Citizen Kane rather well. I'm trying to remember what that would be. 160. Oh, yeah. Because we'll be losing 10 million Marios this year, and we plan to lose 10 million Marios again next year, and we Hope to do so for the next 60 years, right? Right, in Kubla Khan's stately pleasure dome. So, are you folks familiar with the Orson Welles Frozen Peas commercial? Like, do you know what I'm talking about if I mention that? Since we're on the subject of Orson Welles. Okay, so yeah, late in his career, when Orson Welles was doing everything that he could to fund his film projects, he was doing a bunch of advertising on the side, and you can find some of that on YouTube. Like, you know, he was advertising for cheap California champagnes, he was advertising for like various food products on British radio, and there was one recording session where an outtake survives of him reading the script that's like selling a particular brand of frozen peas. And, you know, Orson Welles, being from this very serious Shakespearean background, has all kinds of problems with how his voice acting is being directed. And so you can find the outtake on YouTube if you look for Orson Welles' Frozen Peas, and get a kick out of that, because, you know, he's got his very inimitable voice and grumbling and possibly a little bit drunk about how badly written and directed all these food product commercials are. There is, in fact, also, I think, a Pinky and the Brain parody of it. That might be one of the top hits on YouTube, but you want to see the original first, for sure. Yeah, we are big Orson Welles fans around here, but we did not pick up on the 160 seconds from the 160 statues. Okay. Yeah, you wanted to keep this level short so the music doesn't repeat excessively? Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you know, Coin Heaven music was designed for repetitions. Yeah, Lapse Gaming, welcome back. We had to skip over you earlier because we didn't see you here, but the queue is short and we'll hopefully wrap around back to you very soon. So thank you for resubmitting. You're quite welcome to do that. I do realize that people with new levels do tend to hop around between streams quite a bit, so thank you for re-queuing. Okay, we needed to kind of let that bob play a little further. Yeah, it must be interesting to kind of do a quality control on this stage in some ways, just because the spawn timing is still dependent on when the player chooses to move forward. So that, like, to me, that just seems like an absolute nightmare to test as a maker, in terms of making sure the longer jumps will actually function every time the player reaches them successfully. But I can see there was quite a bit that was put into the spacing here. And so that seems pretty rigorously enforced. Like, if I'm spawning something late, it's usually because of a clear mistake that I had already made. Like that. Okay, nope, that was going to be late. I definitely let that lose a bit too much height. That was going to give me problems. No, we actually do need to do short hops there. We can't just slide. Maybe we could just slide if we went faster. And, but we can't let the beetles bob their way down. Hitbox a little big on the face? Yeah, I guess it is. We will try to work around that. I mean, a lot of it is just sort of understanding the bobbing pattern and understanding when to let up a bit. Seems like letting the first one bob down on that sequence is actually correct, because I want the second higher beetle in that pair to retain its height. But slightly? Yeah, that works a lot better than what I was doing before. And the nice thing is that, oh, looks like my scrolling... Oh no, I just needed to wait slightly. Seemed initially like my scrolling was a little bit off there, but I think that was an avoidable error. Oh, whoops. Okay, no, you actually do need to run down. But you need to run down before they bob down. I can see very clearly now that short hops will not do the job. I just need to try that out, and it seems like there are a couple of sequences of those, as we can see there. And so I think that not hesitating probably the correct answer to those triplets of beetles. And then that's going to be a run down for speed, and then there we go. And yeah, about 30 seconds. Yes, Burk the EXE. Burk the EXE, you are absolutely welcome to upload at Superworld. If there are people behind you in queue, what I will do is I will play either one world at a time or until the first game over, and then I will go to a different level, and then I will ask you to requeue to progress to the next world. That's if it's busy. If it's not very busy, I may just play yours for a bit longer. But I absolutely do accept worlds here. If you, in fact, type !worlds, you can see an explanation that is hopefully up to date. And so, thank you for that, Sneakin'. I saw yesterday that you had a world set up already as well, because that's what West Second was playing yesterday, and so I may have to catch up on that at some point. I've been doing backlog streams on the weekend to go through kind of longer sets of things, like low clear rates and worlds that are a bit more of a longer-term commitment, so definitely keep that one in mind. Snowball and Toss Gulch. Alex, you crashed? That's fine. We hadn't gotten to you anyway. So, thank you for that. Alex, I did see that you had something up, like, just before I started the stream. I don't know if First Clear is still available, but... Ogner07, thank you for a Snowball Toss and Gulch. Ah, 'tis a snowball. Shan't we perchance chuck it? I think we shall. ERC maker codes do work with the !add command. So use the command and we will see that world as necessary. Okay, I see. So we'll need to fire this into the trampoline when a trampoline is at a certain height. Probably when it's low, and that'll take it out. Great concept. Great concept. Very playable too. It didn't take much guessing to figure out what I was supposed to do. So, we want to watch both the trampoline timing and the claw timing. So the claw doesn't just drop it right. Okay, so if you just toss it onto the donut block, the trampoline will do its job. And so the claw timing was actually the one there that was relevant. So likewise for that set of donut blocks, I think. And I see the POW block there blocking the muncher, and so we'll just find the appropriate distance. Yeah, I feel like we got lucky with that trampoline on the left side in terms of not having to deal with it or plan around it. That was a very good shot. Okay. So this is basically Russian roulette, right? We just need to let the chamber spin around until we fire the right one. Not have it deflected by hammers in the meantime. Oh, no, it doesn't get deflected by hammers anyway. We'll just wait for them to come around. It seems like I must be... like I should be aiming for one that's going on the opposite direction. That seems to be a visual clue for who we should be targeting. And that's a miss. Very well defended by the claws. And it does mean we need to use the reset door, I think, because I think we're out of snowballs from both pipes. Pretty sure that's why the reset doors are there, but now we kind of have an idea of which hammer we want to hit. The one who thinks it's opposite day. The one going against the grain. Here we go. Okay, so this is tossable through here, so let's just try to... Oh, interesting. The pokey heads will work that way. I mean, I guess it's just a one-segment pokey, but normally you can't really place it that way, right? So, okay. Let's look at this mechanism properly. We want the muncher to hit the P-switch using a series of claw drops onto the seesaw. So we want to load as many pokies as possible onto seesaw, so we'll just hit the pokies as the claw goes over them. We'll try not to drop them prematurely. I feel like the one that's placed over the one-way panel is going to be a bit of a problem if you do in fact require all of them to be loaded. So let's just reset this. Because the ones that are stuck on the platform are going to give us a bit of grief. And dropping the snowball there will also give us a bit of grief, so... Okay, so let's not drop these prematurely. Let's let the tracks go over and then unload. Yeah, there we go. Oops. No, up throw, up throw. Come on. Let's do this. and then we'll just hit as many as we can, and whoops. I'm missing all my up throws. Let it unload safely. Come on. Claw. Whoops. Come on. Try to hit the other one too. Stay on the left side? No, I don't want to stay on the left side. I don't want to unload them over here, so I need to go on the right side. Well, that was a bad idea. Okay. Should not have unloaded the snowball, at least. They will fall anyway. Interesting. Oh, because they're nudged against a corner. Maybe so, okay. Well, let's try that. Wouldn't have expected that interaction. But let's let these two load. Right, because of the one-way. Because of one-way, yeah, that's right. I was not paying attention to the one-way panel at all. Now, if we have an accidental pickup of a snowball, we do need to drop. Because we don't want the snowball to nuke all of them together. No, we gotta actually hit them. Let's let that load. Yeah, neat little mechanic. Okay. I guess I should have counted on Alex to know how all of the seesaw physics are going to work. Because for those of you who haven't seen it, Alex's previous submissions to stream were very much all about the seesaws. So, makes sense that you would have all of that puzzle check down naturally. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this little interaction. I'm not having a speed timing anyway. Okay, so we see an on-off gate for the upper chamber there. That will allow us to continue. Oh. Nice. Looks like the mysterious Murasame Castle in winter. Okay, so let's do more of this. Oh, it looks like we need to watch the conveyor tracks now. So we'll hit this, and we want to knock out the pokey head, right? No, actually, firing the snowball past the pokey is the way we want to do it. We fired past the pokey, and then we think about the conveyor movement to send everything towards the hammer. And miss. Okay, so we'll need to watch our hammer timing as well if he chooses to jump around. And we can just take out the pokey, that's true. Nope, wrong. Wrong. There we go. Much more cooperative. Irk the EXE, it's exclamation mark leave for the command that you want to do if you want to leave the queue. It is exclamation mark leave, not remove. Yeah. Thank you. I don't know if you're just changing your code or actually leaving, but thank you for dropping by regardless. Okay. Great. So we chucked it. Derek, you are here. Take a look at BKQ. AXC. 5EG. So yeah, nice to have a bit of a relaxing arcade level like that, Ogner. That was, you know, still something that engaging in terms of like having to clear the activity accurately, but not so much about killing you. The reverse hammer on that one track was a nice touch. So Derek, let's look at Laser Tower. It's going to be blue Mecha Koopa time. Dig under the wall and infiltrate Laser Tower. About 3 minute 50, 4 clears. Possibly a bit of a longer experience, and you'd be delighted to see what that's about. Okay, so we need this guy to give us a bit of a blast. No, that he broke hard blocks, actually. Unless it's a... Well, I just didn't know that he broke hard blocks. Oh, I guess it's just the big one that breaks hard blocks, so it would work the same way as a big bomb. I didn't think to test that when I saw the blue Mecha Koopa, in fact, because I've only really seen the small ones so far, and so I hadn't seen the hard block interaction. That's very good to know because of scroll stock tech. Let's blast our other way through here, and then we will go through. We can enter. Will he let us enter? One of these directions. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Let him wander on a bit. Come on, let's see how we manipulate his range. I guess he does follow Mario's direction, so I need to not drag him too far. Can we get you to fire? Come on, fire, fire, fire. Fire me. I guess we'll just wrap around quickly. Yeah. Here we go. I feel like that was a miss of some sort. Right, because the Thwomp needs to hit the on-off switch. It needs to not get nuked. That time we killed the Thwomp, but we should be able to reset through the pipe if that happens. So it's not a total devastating loss. Okay, so now we need to drop the Thwomp back down. And what will that do for us? It seemed like we were supposed to bounce off the Thwomp to begin with. So maybe let the Thwomp down and then spin jump back on it. It may just be a timing issue here. Okay. Let's let this guy fire, and then we'll try to do this wrap around. Okay. Pretty safe so far. And then the conveyor belts are going to drag us back. Oops. Oh no, that's a disaster. Luckily, the conveyor belts got us out of there in time. And let's... That was very nearly a timing issue, but it seems like... Oh, okay, we gotta fix up how we repair this conveyor. Taking a bit of a risk there seems to be the answer. And here we go. Yeah, the timings here actually feel generally pretty relaxed. I definitely knew that was going to go badly as soon as I made that jump. Surprisingly, the laser does not kill the Thwomp, but the blocks breaking do. Oh, yeah, of course. I always forget to account for blocks breaking. It was always a issue I had with the big bombs as well. Okay, now we have a problem on our hands. I believe that beam probably should have stopped it anyway. But let's see if we can... Yeah, we don't have the height to jump safely and spin jump back. So I think if the Thwomp dies, it is in fact just a death in the actual sense. Whoops. I've missed that jump back on. Seemed a little bit finicky, but nope. You've never seen anyone go back through the pipe, really? Okay, because Like, whenever I see something that I expect might involve a reset of a mechanism I would want back, I always tend to go back. I mean, I should have noticed here that the hard blocks, once destroyed, actually do stay destroyed. But, I mean, I think that's kind of just general kind of playtesting check thing that everybody has to learn the hard way about Mario Maker is I should have waited for the Mecha Kuma timing before going up. That, like, every time you have a pipe or a door where you are allowed to go back, assume that some player will try it. Somebody will do it. And that's just a consequence of no longer having sort of easy, elegant-looking one-way pipes like we had in Mario Maker 1, where you could just enforce that with things like stacking and the way that one-way panels used to work, which you didn't actually need, but also worked as a form of overlap that is no longer available. The way I'm doing it is by far the hardest way to do it. Yeah, I could see from a setup that I'm probably not supposed to re-jump on a thwomp. But that timing isn't going to work for me either. Like, I would have assumed that it's, you know, you let the thing blast, you let the thwomp fall. Yeah. Okay, we got it. I know, we gotta wait for the next cycle. Wait for the next cycle. Nope. I can see that it's supposed to be a timing thing, but I don't see the timing. Oh, I know what the issue is. The issue is that I'm getting too close to it, and the first drop is throwing me off. Nope, gotta wait for the next one. Should be able to make it. A little bit tight on the upper one, but we can do it. Alright, let's try to navigate this again without being pushed back down all the way. Right, because it was the drop on the big Mecha Koopa on the right side that was giving us trouble earlier, so let's... Oh boy, that's gonna be a problem. Okay, no, I need to stay up top and let it fire when I am above it. I don't need to not go down to that one-way panel yet. I'm still getting used to the activation ranges on these guys in terms of when they will start firing. I don't really have enough practice with them to understand the proximity just yet, but clearly, like, within 2 tiles vertically is enough. Whoops. Let it blast and then jump on it as it comes down. Okay. Nope, that's not it. You know, the depths here are not really a big issue. I would honestly rather do it this way. Like, despite the death count, I actually find that easier. Okay. Nice, much more relaxed timing on the top guy this time. We'll fight the conveyor. Okay. Nope, we'll need the next cycle. And we will make it. Okay, let's not get blasted. Let this guy fire, and then he's going to be somewhat off screen. Okay. We should have enough range. Let him fire, drop down. Now we need to do a bit of a timing check. Okay, same idea. There we go. Much more headroom on those, and then we nuke them and we go. Okay, thank you. Well, Laser Tower, that's a very accurate title. That was exactly what it said on the tin. Okay, Lapse Gaming, have you stuck around this time? I believe you have. So let's take a look at yours. Godless God. Thank you for the submission. And just one moment while I catch up on the chat. Make sure I don't miss anything too critical. Okay. Enclosed Armada. Use the SMB mushroom to SMB2 mushroom rather. Jump on the bonsai builds as you race for the goal. Seems like the server is not cooperating in terms of giving me the preview screen, so I hope loading the level is still okay. A world record, 9 seconds, so it looks like it'll be something very tightly tuned in some ways. Just trying to load the preview screen and it's not doing that, but okay, fairly short but difficult from there we go, there's the enclosure. Nice little title image. Yeah, I think Lapse stuck around from what Twitch tells me. Don't know if they're lurking. Okay, no, need a bit of a better landing there. Let's just kind of scout ahead to see what's going on. Okay, so just a lot of jumping around. We don't need to lift the bonsais from what I can tell. Just heights. Okay. Whoops, not that tight. I see, so it's a 10-second level to begin with. That would kind of explain the clear rate in some ways, in that a lot of frequent repeated attempts would deflate it. So it'll be, I'm pretty sure, a jump that goes through swamps, like in between the upper and lower one. I need to hang right a little further with that SMB2 mushroom. Yeah, I was trying to hang back there, and that was a bad idea. Just see what else lies ahead after the swamps. Not much, I think. I had lost some horizontal distance from taking damage there, obviously, but looks like that must have been near the end, with 2 seconds left when I blundered over there. Okay. Since camera control is under my control, let's... Wow, that looks tight. That last one there looks tight. Okay. Well, we'll see what we can do with it. I mean, it seems like there isn't much to work on other than precision, really. It's a matter of finding some right timings. I was trying to do kind of a soft drop off of that bonsai there in that lower segment, and that was clearly not the way, because it's when you're on the bonsai as the SMB2 mushroom, and I guess this would be a brand new interaction, it slows you down a bit, like you're going up a slope. Which is interesting. I did not expect that interaction to take place, where it would kind of exercise a little bit of drag. Like when I'm on the second bonsai in that series there, like there's a little bit of drag on the SMB2 suit. And I'm not accounting for it, so not accounting for it, I have not yet learned how to play around it, but it looks like I'll just need to jump to the lower bonsai and just jump right away. Fall into it, as sliding into it will not be the answer. Redlink 66, fairly short queue so far. Like I said, dragging my way into it will not be the answer. I know the rule sheet looks very long, but basically I do take any genre. It's just that some levels, if they are too precise, I may have to drop them a bit early. And if they are a bit too long, I may need to take a break and ask you to resubmit after I go through a few more people. Otherwise, anything is welcome. And we'll play it for as long as it's interesting. So I don't need to jump down to that one. Okay, no. Jump gives us a little too much height. So I wonder if we just need to fall into that second bonsai a little further so we spend less time that horizontal drag. Oh, I know what drag is coming from. It's not coming from it acting like a slope. It's coming from its backward momentum. That's like directionally it's tugging you back. And so as you are running along the surface, it basically acts like a conveyor belt going left. That's an interesting interaction. Yeah, that looks like it's just a matter of beating the timing then. I can see how that works now. Yeah, thank you for the code. Hot hops, okay. Hot hops? I don't know if that's really the recommended ingredient for your microbrewery, but in the context of a Mario Maker level, perhaps it'll work out a little bit better. So, and this is kind of an example of a level where I don't know necessarily I'll have the precision to progress on it for very long, particularly with a kind of, I don't know, what was it, 0.5% clear rate or so, but it's short enough that we'll give it a fair try. Yeah, it looks like we're just not landing far enough on that first jump. And we just need to beat that timing. There's no other way around it. Yeah, you can't jump into it, for sure. Yep, just trying to sneak under it and failing miserably, so it seems like we just need to jump as close to the edge as we can, like right from the start. It's very precise. And it's still not enough to get us over. So yeah, if we fail to progress on that for much longer, I think this one might be a bust. But just, you know, because I don't think I have the pixel precision to quite do it. But we'll see. I mean, I think we've kind of seen what's going on here in terms of the design, so. And look at that lower spike here. Look at this irritating little thing on this column. Because now if you're a little too ambitious, like that thing gives you trouble. In ways that were not previously anticipated. So, but then it kind of tells you that I need to be jumping lower. Like I do need to go far, but perhaps I do not want a full jump there. I want to go as far forward as I can. With something slightly less than a full jump. I gotta let up a little bit. But yeah, this irritating little guy there just restrains the jump arc that you can have coming into this. Like, So between that and the swamps and the bottom corner, it looks... well... It's almost as though, you know, and I'm sure this is how these things are built, that in the Maker mode you would just, like, have Mario do a jump, and then you look at the Mario trail, the Maker, and then you just, like, place spikes all around the corners of the trail to, you know, enforce one extremely precise falling path. But I don't think we can do it, to be honest. Because it is all about getting one very precise series of initial inputs where you kind of get messed up later on if you don't do the first two jumps exactly as intended. Whoops. I'm going to try that with ducking, but I don't imagine that would do much. I did say I would try that with ducking. But I mean, at the same time, I don't really have the flexibility to let up on the... Yeah, because the issue with ducking is that I slide into the landing. And sliding into the landing loses a little too much speed. Yeah, but the difference between this and the Beetle level is that the Beetle level leaves room for adjustment, right? Like, you can kind of play around with the up and down timings, and so you're kind of in control of something as the player in terms of decision-making based on what you see in the level. Like here, I don't think there is a decision I should be making. I think it's just purely hitting that hard. So only a few more attempts, I think, and we will probably have to wipe out pretty embarrassingly on this one. This one also has a CC. Oh, clear condition, I see, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it is pretty obvious why it has a clear condition, because that's the only way. Like, the course is short enough that without a clear condition, damage boost will always be a vulnerability. Like, you're making this 10 seconds, right? Like, and you're starting with a 2-state power-up like SMB2. 2-state power-up over 10 seconds? Yeah, like, if you don't have a clear condition, I think this idea just doesn't work. It's just that the spikes are a little too big for my taste, so I think this is going to be a fail. So we'll just let the Thwomp take a final crack at us. I think when I got into it, it was definitely around 0.5. Definitely no higher than that. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, 0.49, which... I mean, like, that's actually a lot higher than I would expect, except for the fact that it's 10 seconds long. And, like, the fact that it's 10 seconds long tells you that the actual difficulty is closer to something that would be much lower than 0.5 in terms of, like, what we'd normally expect when we see 0.5%. I've seen some pretty good clear condition levels lately. So I wouldn't take that, Derek, as any kind of blanket injunction against them, but, you know, I think they are things that need to feel designed around, whereas here I think it was a bit of a hack to defend against damage boosting through 10 seconds. But... okay, Super World time. So, Sneakin', we will do either World 1 or up to the first game over, as is a policy, and then we will come back for more as necessary. So, well, I mean, we'll see, depending on time, like if we do a second one at a time, we'll see how it goes. I mean, obviously, you know, Super Worlds are kind of new enough that I think people who are doing fewer levels, as I'm sure you know firsthand, are still kind of working out how best to handle it. But I do want to take them, though, generally, and I do think that they have really given a boost to makers of short traditional levels in particular. In terms of, you know, making viewer levels a much more friendly experience for them, so... We'll take a look at Super Sneak In World. And I guess everything is a fortress or an airship all the time. I'm sure it doesn't seem threatening at all. I guess you're starting with a tank of 42 lives, which I'm sure required quite a bit of deep thought, as it were. Mushroom Kingdom Skybridge 1-2. Yeah, I mean, I haven't played a lot of these older ones. So it's kind of nice to have the opportunity to go through them in a chunk. Particularly some of the, you know, lighter and more forgiving ones like this one is. It's nice to get a bit of a bonus room here. Because I seem to be the... well, one of the designated 1 to 2% playtesters for Sneak In's library. Which is great, it's a great place to be, but it does mean that I've missed out on some of these ones. Okay, totally missed that, but thankfully there is a trampoline. I always like having to earn a checkpoint, like even if it's just a little task like that. I like doing a little something that, you know, either puts you at risk or makes the checkpoint something that you would want to skip if you are going for a speed timing. At least in a level that's not this level of forgiveness. Like, checkpoint policy, I think, would differ quite a bit depending on, you know, how tight the setups actually are. We're not going to make a flag. So... oh, 1-1 was a bad fit because, like, that's why this one was labeled 1-2, I see. I understand. So here's a Flying Circus 2, Bonsai Boogie. Okay, so we'll just boogie through that. Follow the coins. Yeah, pretty readable all around. Then